Hey, what's up? My name is Nelson, and today I am talking about Scream 2022. "25 years after a streak of brutal murders shocked the quiet town of Woodsboro, a new killer has donned the Ghostface mask and begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadliest past." Well, that's all I'm going to say. This is a spoiler-free review. Alright, first thing I'm going to talk about is the cast. Alright, we have a bunch of newcomers to this franchise, and like Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, Jack Quaid, Mikey Madison, Mason Gooding, Sonia Ben Omar, Jasmine Sophie Brown, and Dylan Minetti. And I do like this cast quite a bit. I mean, there was a lot of compelling characters throughout this, and it really actually brought me back to the first Scream, and this cast really worked really well together. Characters like Melissa Barrera and Jack Quaid, they were the two couple in the movie that were together, and they really worked off of each other very well, and they had such good chemistry throughout the movie. Melissa Barrera, she was a big standout for me in this movie. She really killed that kind of being the new, main character of this hopefully continuing franchise. But then we got back Marley Shelton, who was in the fourth one. She was the deputy, and she did really good again in this, and I really liked her quite a bit. And her son was Dylan Minetti, who played Wes. That was actually her son in the movie, and that chemistry between those two really worked. Just the acting is really good in this. But we got back our legacy characters, Sydney, Gail, and Dewey. And again, they're back, and they kill the roles. And it just all the characters seemed really good in this. Got the opening scene, which is always real crucial for these Scream movies because it really sets up. It's just such a big part for fans, is that opening kill in this movie, and it's done really well. I ended up liking it quite a bit, and that was one thing I kind of come into the movie a bit nervous about. I was like, oh, that opening scene's got to be badass, and ended up being really good. Roger L. Jackson as Ghostface, he's obviously back again voicing Ghostface, and he is just still awesome. He's got to be up there in age now, and he's still got that same exact creepy voice. It's real, like, his voice is weird, and I love how it's like, it's very soothing at times. He'll be, and then the next minute he can just sound so like bone chilling, and like that. Really, he just doing his thing and working, and it worked really well. Randy's niece and nephew were in this movie. They played the two twins in the movie, but the niece was really a big thing, another big standout for me in this movie. She kind of took on that Randy role, like she knew all the rules for all the horror films and all that, and I really liked her character a lot. She ended up being one of my favorite characters in the entire movie. And the horror references in this it was like an overload in this one, and not in a bad way. It was done really well. I loved all of these. There was so many references to so many different horror movies. Like, even like artistic horror movies, there was references to them, like they called out, like, The Witch and different movies like that. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. All the horror references really worked. The kills in this movie were really super brutal. Like, maybe not as bloody as like even Scream 4, but just the brutalness in this movie. I mean, the killer in this movie is just so brutal. I mean, it was just like, whoa. And some of these some of these scenes and stuff, and a lot of there's a death scene in this movie that is just completely in the daylight, just in the broad daylight, and that freaked me out so much. And I was just like, whoa, like right in broad daylight, and it's just like you just see him fling open a door, and it's just like it's so bright outside, and that really just that was just such a creepy part of this movie. And it's funny when they're talking about these franchises and how there's a part in the movie they're talking about how, oh, you know, the fifth movie is always the crappiest movie, and I'm just like, it's so funny how that worked, and how they were just like, yeah, like kind of bashing on the fact that they're doing a fifth Scream movie. And honestly, that really worked. The humor in this movie really worked for me. There was some times where I chuckled a few times, and it's a little bit funnier, but not in a way where it takes you completely out of the scares and stuff, because this movie is pretty scary. I would say one of the scariest Scream movies today. I'm not going to get into detail, but there is a bit social commentary in this movie, and sometimes that doesn't work. Kind of like in Halloween Kills. The social commentary in that did not work for me at all. Like, that was the big downfall of that movie, that without it could have been a lot better. But this movie hits on the social commentary on some things in society, how society is today, and it really did it very, very well. And I was super impressed with that, especially after seeing the kind of failure that Halloween Kills had on that aspect. I don't have too many negatives. Honestly, some of these kills were not super creative. I mean, we've been having these movies since 1997, and I mean, you're gonna have to repeat some of the kills. I mean, what else could you do? I mean, without going too much over the top. But so that's not a big complaint, but I feel like some of the kills could have been a bit more creative, honestly. And time was really weird in this movie. Like, I feel like it was like daylight, then all of a sudden it was dark, and then it was daylight again, and then dark again, like super quick within like 15 minutes in the movie. And I was just like, wow, time went by super fast. And that was kind of weird. And that kind of, like, those are just very small nitpicks. Honestly, this movie was really good. The reveal of the killers, again, I'm not going to say it, but it was really cool. And at first I was like, what? And then it explains itself. Like I said, I'm not going to say it because it'd be a spoiler. And it really worked for me. Honestly, after this movie, this might be my favorite horror franchise of all time. I'm definitely going to say it. This kind of solidified it for me. And there was a time in my head where I was like, honestly, these legacy characters, the original characters, are kind of taking a back seat. Like, why are they really even here? And towards the end, I was like, okay, I get it. That's why they're here. Matt Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillett, they really did good. I knew they were great directors after seeing Ready or Not. That movie really worked a couple years ago for me. Honestly, I really feel like Wes Craven, rest in peace, would be super proud of this one, and just, I really feel like he would just be super happy about this film. But for my score for this movie, I'm going to give it an 85%. Really awesome movie. Recommend seeing it in theaters. It was a super good experience. Super scary, super chilling at times. But if you like what I'm doing on this channel, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at NelsonReviews. Follow me on Letterboxd at Nelson48. Peace out.